Do you live for the next time you can be enjoying the great outdoors? Maybe the outdoors isn't for you, but you know you need reliable equipment for camping or a survival situation. In either of these circumstances, you will need to boil water, cook fast, and survive. Like most people, you have probably used a small camping stove that either went scorched earth on your food or took forever to just boil some water. It really doesn't have to be like that. Watch this short video to the end. I promise to reveal the one piece of equipment which can make your outdoor adventures completely enjoyable, as well as prepare you to deal with any disaster. Meet Glenn. He loves camping, hiking, kayaking, fishing, basically all things outdoors, and he is a die-hard prepper. On a recent backpacking trip, he was excited to try out a new compact fuel stove. Unfortunately, it didn't work out as he hoped. The concentrated flame was intense and he burned some portion of almost every meal. Scrubbing pans with burnt food was not how he wanted to spend his time. With 2 days left on his trip, the fuel valve malfunctioned, rendering his fuel stove useless. Also, despite his best efforts to be eco-friendly, the empty canisters he had to pack out weren't refillable, so he had to throw them away when he got home. Glenn went to visit his friend Rick to plan their upcoming trip to Alaska. He related his frustrating gas stove experience and how it had malfunctioned. He explained he didn't know what to do for cooking food on their trip since he couldn't take the fuel canisters on the airplane. Rick then shared his secret solution, the Kettle, the combination stove kettle that he had used for years with never a problem, ever. They went into Rick's backyard carrying a small bag. He quickly picked up a few old pine cones and twigs from under a tree. He pulled out his stainless steel kettle and removed a fire base and cook set that were tucked up inside. Rick placed the pine cones and twigs in the fire base, then took the kettle and poured water into the kettle spout. Next, he set the kettle full of water on the fire base, pointed the air hole to the wind, and lit the kindling. The fire took off almost instantly, sending smoke and fire out the top of the chimney. Glenn watched in amazement as Rick dropped a few more twigs and pine cones down the chimney, then placed a pot support on top. He then placed the pot on the support and poured in a few eggs he had scrambled and started stirring. They started cooking immediately. The wind started blowing and Glenn thought that would for sure put the fire out. But to his surprise, the more the wind, the greater the air draft up the kettle chimney, which made the fire burn even hotter. 5 minutes after they put the kettle on, the water was already boiling. Rick took hold of the sturdy bail handle with 2 hands, lifted the kettle off the fire base, and then, using the stopper on the chain, tilted the kettle to pour boiling hot water into a pack of freeze-dried lasagna. Glenn realized the fun was just starting when Rick dropped a few more pine cones in the fire, then placed the hobo stove on the fire base and started cooking 2 large sausages in a frying pan. In under 15 minutes, they had set everything up, cooked a gourmet meal, and were ready to eat on the stainless steel plates which came with the ultimate Kettle kit. Glenn was impressed. As the glow of the setting sun colored the evening sky, Rick added more water to the kettle for some hot chocolate. He placed the kettle back on the fire base and stoked the fire by dropping a few more twigs down the chimney. "Time for dessert," he said, as he placed a marshmallow on the end of the stick and held it over the top of the chimney. The flame and heat coming out the top of the kettle were perfect to quickly cook the marshmallow golden brown. He removed the kettle once again and poured hot water into the stainless steel cups to make hot chocolate. Glenn sat contentedly eating his s'more, drinking hot chocolate and full from the delicious meal Rick had prepared, all with his kettle. "That was about as hassle-free as it gets," said Glenn. "And no fuel canisters to throw in the trash. I guess we are set for our Alaska trip," he said, smiling. As they said goodbye, Rick asked Glenn what he had planned for the night. With a big grin, Glenn replied, "You aren't going to be the only one with a kettle." As he walked home, he took out his phone, went to KellyKettleUSA.com and completed the purchase of his own Kelly Kettle Ultimate Kit. Now he too would be able to boil water, cook fast, and survive anywhere, anytime, hassle-free.